Grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, little flock. As you guys know, we've been traveling from one camp to another, from one place to another. This is what Israelites do before they come into their promised land. You may be surprised how many times they had to stop and make camp before they were ready to actually enter into their land of promise. So it is with us today. Because we were being held in a place that's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, there's once again a letting my people go type moment occurring with the nation of Israel. An exodus, better said, occurring with the nation of Israel. Being caught in sin, being snared in the lower passions, being in the grave, then being resurrected, coming out of that grave, standing on your feet again, and ascending back into heaven again. That's what we're doing, little flock. Overcoming those lower passions, those lower vibrations of lust, lasciviousness, and excess, which was the red camp. Overcoming the hardships of forgiveness, overcoming selfishness and greed. That was the orange camp. Overcoming that timidity and that fear of being who you are, not being confident or bold in righteousness, but living doubtful, being skittish, being double-minded. The yellow. Learning how to take commandment. Learning how to be still, to endure and persevere. And then, as you all know, being brought to the heart, which is where we've been camped at. And that this camp being made into a new image of the city of peace. No longer a fearful heart, but now a loving heart. No longer a cowardly heart, but now a courageous heart. And a fearless heart, because perfect love casts out fear. And once the heart has been put into alignment, then the Israelites move to the next camp, which is where we speak, which is where our gate that we allow the words to go out, the gate of our body. And as I've often said, we can't speak right, or we can't watch that gate and determine the right things that need to come out of it. We can't do that if we're not in a state of peace, if our heart has not been made right and been put in the proper alignment, which is what's happening now. We're going to move when we're told to move. If you're not ready for that movement, that ain't my fault. Because if you've been coming here, then you're well prepared for the movement. The movement is when you're tested to speak. That's when you're coming into the next camp, when you'll be tested and enticed to want to speak. As I've often referenced, one of our beloved brothers here among the flockulators, our beloved brother Pete, had a dream in which he saw a bear coming out of the wood. And here at the School of Marvelous Light, we got the understanding of what that vision that he saw, what it meant. A bear represents haste. In other words, when you see him, you want to make haste. But bear to the Hebrew also means to plod along slowly, to move in a lumbering, slow type of way. Do you see this? So your initial response when you see a bear is to yell out, "Oh shit!" Say something, do something. Maybe even start to try to fight, defend yourself or something. But we're being reminded that when we see the bear, that is when we're to be quiet, when we are to play dead. You see? And so it is when this next enticement comes into your life, or this next temptation, when something causes you to want to speak out, whether that is to defend yourself, whether it is to justify yourself, whether it is to make your point known to another, all of that is vanity, useless, vain, and a waste of time. It doesn't seem like it. It seems harmless when you're justifying yourself. For instance, if you were being accused of doing something, but yet you know you didn't do it, you may start to open your mouth. See, I didn't do that. Why are you accusing me? I'm innocent. I haven't done anything. If that's true, then just stand in that truth. But do you see how you want to start to speak and everything? See how I referenced the bear? He makes you want to speak when you see him. But the best thing to do is actually play dead. And a dead person can't speak, can they? No. Best thing to do is just be quiet and play dead. Well, it's the same thing when that temptation comes to your life. The best thing to do is just be quiet and play dead. Isn't that what Yahushua did? Now see, if you don't ever see him utilize what I'm telling you today, when a bear comes, this is what you're supposed to do. If you don't see him do that, then just disregard this message. But if you see him do that, then you know that what I'm telling you is true, and you know where it came from. It could not have come from me. Brother P had a dream about a bear. Abba gave me the interpretation of the dream. So it couldn't have came from me. I didn't have no dream about no bear coming out of no woods. You see how Abba does it? It's Abba's work being done. Abba's the one who justifies. Abba's the one who shows what a thing is, who proves what a thing is. You see that? So there's no need in you justifying yourself. This is what I meant to do when I did that, but this person thinks I meant to do this. I got to make sure they know that's not what I meant. You ain't got to make sure a damn thing. Who cares if they know? They ain't your judge. So they just might judge you wrong. But if they do, so what? They're not the judge. So who cares about their judgment? And as we go through this message, you're going to see exactly why I say, who cares about their judgment? They ain't supposed to be judging. Especially people say they follow Christ. Then they ain't got no business judging. Because if they follow Christ, then that means they do what Christ do. What does Christ do? He says, I judge no man. So who in the hell is you to be judging? See? So if you care about people's judgment, then you also have not listened to the Master, who said, judge not, lest you be judged. I judge no man. So you didn't listen to that neither, because if you had to listen to that, then you would have known this person who's judging you, it don't matter what they think. It don't matter what they feel. It don't matter what they misconstrued, misunderstood, got wrong, or got right. It don't matter. Abba know. And that's good enough for me. That proves you have faith in someone who exists. Because those who serve God must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So it is impossible to please him without faith. You got to have faith that he is. And if you know that he is, then you know that he saw everything that happened. You know that he know you innocent. So if he know I'm innocent, what the hell matter even if this judge think I'm not? I'm free, like I've told y'all before. Now, I can't tell you something I don't know. I know that's how it works because that's what I've done. See? I'm not telling y'all speculation or what I think sound good that somebody else then came up with. I ain't telling you that. What good is that going to do? I'm telling you what Yahushua said, I do it. And when I do it, I find out that it's true. And I share it with anybody who's willing to learn these truths as well and get powerful. I'm not concerned with what a man don't think I'm powerful so he won't listen to me. That's up to you. You misjudged. You don't know what power is. So because you don't know, I'm supposed to get offended if you don't think that I am? I don't think so, buddy. It don't work like that. The truth gonna be the truth, whether anybody think it is or not. How many times have a kid tested the truth? Don't touch that, it's hot. I want to touch it anyway. Go right on ahead. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, mom and dad, I like this girl. Isn't she good for me? No, son, I don't think that's the right one for you, but I'm going to marry her anyway. Yeah, yeah. I think this is the career path I should be going on because my grandfather did it and my dad did it for 40 years and so I got to follow in their footsteps and do it too, don't I? Yeah, another one biting the dust again. Because y'all are trying to build something on sand. Sand ain't something true to build on. It ain't something with a sure foundation. So then why in the hell you building on it? And then when that part happened, you acting all surprised, looking at your hand with blisters and boils all over your shit. Well, you wouldn't have been looking like that had you just listened to what the master said and did what he said. And if you do what he say, then your house will not fall. And we're going to get into that, little flock of letters. All right, so let's go to the book of Luke. Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6, verse 40. We'll start at verse 43. All right, we'll start there. And then we'll kind of hopscotch through this chapter. So Luke 6, verse 43. For a good tree bringeth not forth, corrupt fruit. So a good tree does not bring forth corrupt fruit. See that little flop? For every tree, neither doth a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree is known by his own fruit. Stop. Every tree is known by his own fruit. Now, is this talking about a tree with fruit hanging on it, literally? If you know the ways of the Spirit, then you know that no, it's not speaking literally. Some people think it means, well, it's talking about men. If you're a good man, then you're going to have good works. But if you're an evil man, then your works are going to be evil. So I know a man by the works that he does. Okay. You may see a man when you look at somebody, but that ain't what Abba sees, is it? What do you mean, grandson? What does Abba judge? The heart of a man. So then the tree that Christ is speaking about here is a heart. A heart is known by the words that are spoken, is what's being said here. The fruit is the words. So a heart of a man is known by the words that he speaks. Interesting. So a good heart cannot produce corrupted words. See that there, little flock? And a corrupted heart cannot produce good words, even if they sound good. even if they look good. I told you everything you see is a manifestation of something spiritual going on. In the world that you live in, do you have what's known as GMO? You know, you may be eating a can of Pringles. You look at the label and shit on the back, they should be like, this contains genetically modified organisms. Wait a second. What the hell? GMOs? Did your granddaddy, the world he lived in, did he have GMOs? What about your granddaddy's father? Did he have GMOs? But you notice that you do? But you notice the GMO look good, don't it? It actually may even look better than the real deal. Ain't that interesting? And you think that ain't the case with men? That there are some men that are pure evil, but they look better, and by men I mean men or woman, doesn't matter, but they look better than the average man or woman. And because they look better than the average man or woman, they're treated better by men, because men judge on how a thing look, like I told you, or how it sounds. See, he's a good tree. Look at the words that he's saying. I mean, look at the actions that he's done. If he was a corrupted man, he couldn't do those good works. Well, maybe he's a man that is corrupt, and maybe he just wants to deceive you that he's a good man. So he does good, so-called good works that you deem are good in front of you. Could that be the case as well? I don't think that's the case, grandson. Well, then how come he tells you to beware that you be not deceived? How come he keeps telling you that? That there's always someone trying to deceive you out of the truth. Oh, yeah, he did warn us a whole lot of times about being deceived, grandson. See there? You see there? So now, let's continue. Now that we got the correct understanding here. Every heart is known by his own words. For of thorns men do not gather figs. See? You see? You can't gather a fig from a thorn bush, can you? No. Nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes. See that there, little flock of ladies? A good man out of the good treasure of his heart can slice her. What did I say earlier? It's about the heart. Y'all just hear good man and stop right on there. See? Well, let's keep reading. A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. When he speaks to you, he's speaking something that's good for you. It may not sound good. It may not look good when he's saying it. He may not look good saying it. But do that mean that it ain't good for you? Come on, let's put childish things away here, please. If a nigga just said to you, if you were a kid, let's just look at how childish thinking works. If you were a kid and somebody says, hey, your birthday is coming up, you're like, yeah. They're like, hey, let's throw your birthday party. Let's even get a clown. He can come. Yeah, cool. Get all excited. Even a clown? Amazing. Yeah. When the nigga said he was bringing a clown, he didn't mean Bozo the clown. He didn't even mean Krusty the clown. It might have been better if he bought Krusty's ass. But he didn't. He brought Pennywise the clown. To your birthday party. Now, how do you feel about that particular clown being the one that got invited? You ain't happy and singing now when you seen it come walking up in there, did you? But you allowed it to happen because you were told which something sounded so harmless. A clown gonna be at your birthday party. Yeah, but the nigga didn't tell me a murderous, devious, evil ass, shape-shifting ass, killing ass clown. Talking about come down here where we all float kind of clown. I didn't know that kind of clown was coming. I wish you had to specify. Or maybe if you asked some questions, he would have specified. But since you didn't ask no questions, then look what happened to you. Look what happened to you. You see? So let's continue. And an evil man, look at here, out of the evil treasure of his heart. See, When you got weapons, you're pulling them out of somewhere. Where are they pulling these things out of, little flop? The good man and the evil man. They're both pulling something from a treasure box. Where? It's their heart. So the man is determined by the station of his heart. See what I mean by how Abba judges what's a good man and what's an evil man? By the treasures of his heart. Now, if a man doesn't have any good treasure in his heart, then can he say anything good to you? Nope. See how a bramble bush, you can't get no grapes from it? But if you get grapes from a man, then what's that telling you? Yeah. Now let's continue. An evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Now, didn't I tell you we were at the heart and the next stop was where you talk? Do you see how it's connecting like Legos every single time I'm talking to y'all? Do you see how I connected right there? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you're being trained in how your mouth should speak, wouldn't God be lacking in his training of you if he didn't focus your mind on what's going on in the abundance of your heart? Watch your heart. Keep watch with all diligence. Keep watch of the heart, for out of it are the issues of life. Out of it. See, it's always about coming out of it. So if everything you experience in life comes out of there, then what in the hell you think you need to be watching? What kind of watchman do you think you need to be? A watchman that only watch what goes on the outside of his body? Yeah. Guess what I saw in the news, guys? Yeah. Guess what I heard going on over here, fellas? Yeah. Guess what I heard going on over there in Israel? Yeah. We don't want to hear your ass singing, yeah. Nigga, how about no? Make me say no. Shit, that's what I'm going to sing to your ass. No. I don't want to hear no more about what's going on outside of me. What's going on outside of me is nothing but a temptation to get what's going on inside of me to change into its image. So all of you are talking about how fucked up the world is, and that's the way it's designed to get you fucked up. Can't you understand that? I mean, why are you guys complaining about something that's designed that way? You're sitting there looking at a car you don't like. Well, why don't you just get in the one that you do like? I hate this fucking car. It's so ugly. It doesn't run right. It doesn't do what I want it to do. I just hate it. It doesn't have any good fuel economy. I don't like the wheels. I don't like the... Just complaining about a design that's not going to change because you complain. The hell you ever went to your car dealer after your shit got fucked up, you took it back for him to fix it, for him to take it to the garage and do some work on it. And when he said, well, what seems to be the problem? Well, I think it's just this design. I don't like it. I don't like this model. I don't like the way the design of the damn seats are. I hate the color. I hate this. I hate that. He's just going to sit there looking at you like, what do you want me to do, sir? I want you to listen to me complain about how awful it is. Why would I waste my time doing that? Are you going to pay me to listen? No. So then I ain't listening. So then what I'm supposed to do? Go complain to somebody else? Yep, that's what you can do. And that's what that nigga is going to do. Because that's what all of y'all been doing in the world. Looking for somebody to complain about your life to. Don't nobody want to hear that sad sap ass story. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. Oh, woe is me. Every time I go out to the world, they're gang stalking. They're watching me at every turn. Who the fuck wants to sit around watching you talk about who following you around all day? Who the hell want to watch that shit? How is that edifying? How does that teach anybody? But yet you see people all around talk. That's all the hell they talk about. It's how sucked their life is. How everybody's taking advantage of them. How everybody's jealous of them. How everybody wants to be like them. How everybody's sitting up there trying to do this to disrupt their life. How everybody's using everything against them. How everybody's backstabbing them. And everybody's out to get them. And everybody this and everybody did. Proving you don't listen to Christ. So then don't say you follow Christ. Don't say that. Not talking like that you don't, nigga. How can you? All of y'all complainers, you gossiping ass murmurers, how can y'all say y'all follow Christ when y'all talk like that and act like that? when you know good and damn well that ain't how he would act, he would have you talk and act. Is it? Complaining, murmuring? Y'all know good and damn well the Father don't like that. And yet y'all sit up here and you keep doing it as if it don't matter that the Father don't like it. Okay? All right. Well, let's get further into this meal and we gonna see. And we just gonna see. Now, as we continue to the next verse that we're gonna read here, it's gonna make it clear why I'm asking those questions and I'm saying these things like, if you don't be a doer, then don't say you follow Christ. Don't say it. You notice I keep saying that? Watch this next verse, and then it's going to make it plain and clear as to why I'm saying the things that I'm saying. Watch this. Verse 46. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Stop. Why he put that there if it ain't people that's doing that? That's my question. If it ain't some people that's doing that, he wouldn't have said it. But he said, why you calling me Lord, Lord, and ain't doing the things I'm telling you to do? That's what the same thing the grandson said. See how it connect like Legos? You see it? Whosoever cometh to me and hears my sayings and doeth them, stop. So did the man just have to come and hear? No. But doeth them, I will show to you whom he is like. He is like a man which built an house and digged deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. The house is you, your being. It is who you are. That is your house. What did you build who you are on? A lie, which is sand, or did you build it on the truth? The only way you could have built it on the truth is by doing what Yahushua said to do. See what I mean there, little flockulators? So if you're not doing what he said to do, then your house, your being, is not built on a truth. It's not built on truth at all. So can it stand? Well, let's see what he says. But he that heareth, see, so not somebody that didn't even hear, but the man who actually did hear Yahushua's words and doeth not, but he doesn't do them, he is like a man without a foundation. A man that without a foundation built an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. The ruin of that house, being. So if you build your being into a lie and say, I am something that's not true, you see that there? I am is the Father. So everything you say about who you are must be in alignment with the Father. If it isn't, then you're dead. You're not alive. You're in sin and in trespasses, not being who you're supposed to be, not staying in your house. That's what a trespass is going in somebody else's house. You don't have jurisdiction rights to do that. But everybody's doing it all the time. I told you, when you're trying to justify yourself, you're trespassing. Yahusha did not seek to justify himself, did he? They lied. They said, hey man, let's bear some false witness on this guy. They even hired some niggas to bear false witness. Did Yahusha say, you guys are lying, man? I don't even know you dudes, man. Did Yahusha do that? Nope. No, he didn't. He was silent. Now, if you think that this is just some fluke, that there's a man who says he is the man whose name is the branch, written about in the scripture to come in the last days, the servant of the Most High, to do a work in the last days, well, let me clarify what I mean about the last days. There is going to come an hour of temptation that is going to try everybody who's living on the earth. Is this correct according to scripture? Now, in order for somebody to be saved during that hour of temptation, they have to do something. that something that they have to do is to keep the word of his patience, he said. If you don't even know what that is and don't know how to do that, then how in the hell can you be saved during the hour of temptation? You cannot. So do you see that I clarify what it is and how to do it so that you can be saved? Wouldn't that be what the servant who would come in the last days would do? Isn't that what his work would be? To save life? The Son of Man came to save life. If the hour of temptation is coming, then Abba's going to save some life, isn't he? So he's going to send the Son of Man because that's what he sends the Son of Man to do, right? Look how it all connects like Legos. Nobody can lie about it. So there's an hour of temptation coming on the earth. The only way you can get through it is to reside in Jerusalem, stay there, and stay quiet and stay silent. Now, just to prove my point even further, when someone hears me say that, they may think I'm talking about a physical place called Jerusalem. Well, then they won't be saved. Yahushua said, you have heard it all said that in Jerusalem is where you should worship. But the time is coming and now is when the true worshipers will worship him in spirit and in truth. So then how do we interpret what he has said concerning Jerusalem? There's a time when people think there's a physical place called Jerusalem is where you got to worship God at. But the true worshipers know that is a state of being called Jerusalem. And that is where the true worshipers worship God. See how I can make it so crystal clear to you effortlessly where you can't even deny it. You're like, shit, yeah. If what he's saying is true, then that's the spiritual application to the physical we've heard. We know that one of those two applications is stronger than the other one. Could it be that the spiritual one is stronger than the physical one? In other words, the spiritual understanding is stronger than the physical understanding? Could that be? Well, what do you think? When he told Nicodemus, you got to be born again, look how Nicodemus heard it. This is proving my point. You're a ruler of Israel and you don't know these things? How do you have the right to rule over a people when you don't know the least of the spiritual things? See what I'm trying to say to you. So now, out of a good tree come good fruit. So would you say that Yahushua is a good tree? Is that what you'd say? Well, if you all agree that he's a good tree, then his words, see that there? Then his words are good. The fruit is good then. So now we have to go back in the beginning of this chapter we've been reading and see what words he's told us to do. Let's see what kind of words they are. Since we know he's a good tree, then we know the fruit that he said is good. Well, let's see the good fruit that he gave us. Let's see. Let's go back to verse 17. Luke chapter 6, verse 17. All right. And he came down with them and stood in the plain. Stop. Y'all come at the school of marvelous light, then you know why that's significant, don't you? He came down into the plain. So if he came down, that means he was in an elevated state. See what I mean, little flock? And he was with them, which means his disciples. So for them to understand him, he had to come down to a plain. A plain means a common area of understanding. To speak to the common understanding of every man. You see that? So everybody can partake, just like you would do with a flock. You wouldn't go into some terrain that only the strong sheep could go and eat. You would go to a place that all of them can eat. Elder sheep can eat, the babies can eat, the women can eat, the ewe lamb can eat, the ram can eat, everybody can eat freely. You see? So you see that's where he's at, in a plain. And the company of his disciples, see that there, little flock of ladies? So we know his disciples are with him, like I said. And a great multitude of people as well. See that there? A great multitude of people out of all Judea and Jerusalem and from the sea coast of Tyre and Zidon, which came to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. All right, so he's in the plain and they're coming and gathering to where he's at, right, little flock? All right, so let's see what he says to these people that's gathered. Let's see. And they that were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed. And the whole multitude sought to touch him, for there went virtue out of him, and healed them all. And he lifted up his eyes on his disciples, and said, Blessed be you poor, for yours is the kingdom of power. Blessed are you poor. We know this is a man from a different world right here automatically, because the people of the world would never say such a thing. Well, we're dealing with a good tree here, so let's keep eating this good fruit. Blessed be you poor, for yours is the kingdom of power. Blessed are you that hunger now, for you shall be filled. You hear that? Blessed are you that hunger now. These are all the things in the world that the world will call you not blessed by God. See how it's different? They will call you probably cut off from God because you're poor, because you're hungry. You see? Because you don't seem to have this world's good, then people don't think God loves you, like I said. But that ain't the truth. He said, blessed are you poor, see? Blessed are you that hunger now, for you shall be filled. Blessed are you that weep now. So poor, hungry, weeping, look at these words. These are the blessed people of the earth. You see? For you shall laugh. Blessed are you when men shall hate you. Stop. Listen at this again. So the hated, the hungry, the poor. You see this? And when they shall separate you from their company, you're blessed. So, in other words, when the world reject you, that means you're blessed. When you can't get all up in the world and get all good like a pig wallowing in some slop and some mire, when you can't do that with the world, then what is that telling you? That means you're blessed. It means you ain't no swine, obviously. That's what it's saying. All right, so he says, when they shall separate you from their company and they shall reproach you, what does that mean? That means you blessed, right? And cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. See that? The Son of Man come to save life. So for the Son of Man's sake, they cast out your name as evil. But he says, rejoice you in that day. So you're supposed to rejoice if you're hungry, if you're poor, if you're weeping. He says, rejoice. Listen at the difference between him and the world. Remember, he says those who do what I've said. So those who are actually rejoicing because they're cast out, because they hunger, because they weep, because they're sorrowful. He says rejoice. Ain't that something? He says, and leap for joy. Look at this. For behold, your reward is great in heaven. Your reward is great in heaven. So when you're going through all this hard fire, do you leap for joy and do you rejoice? If you don't, then you do not do what Christ says. You're not eating the good fruit. And if you don't eat that good fruit, then how do you think you'll feel if you're hated? How do you think you'll feel if your name is cast out as evil and everybody's cutting you out from their company and don't want you around? You're poor as hell. You have nothing to eat. Your sorrow is filled to the brim. You're drinking that cup of sorrow every damn day. How in the hell would you feel if you didn't have his word? How else could you feel? Interesting. Y'all know good and damn well how a nigga would feel. Y'all know it. And you know how you'd feel if you didn't have these words to succor your soul. But you do, so let's keep on eating. For in like manner did their fathers to the prophets. So this is how the prophets were treated. Did you know that? They were treated like trash. They were treated like doo-doo. That's how they were treated by the world. You see? So if you're treated like that, then that means you're in good company, correct? So you see how this is going to strengthen your heart to how to deal with the issues when they come? Do you see how this message is going to do that for you? If you're part of that elect group that's going to be saved? Continuing. But woe unto you that are rich! Exclamation point. So look at the world. Look how many of the flockulators have felt sad, felt all beat down, and felt all destitute and everything, and felt all ashamed of themselves because they weren't rich. Just off of that simple thing right there. Because you weren't rich, you felt bad. That means you didn't listen to Yahushua then, right? You can't say you was listening if you felt bad. But you did. So then you went astray, didn't you? You sinned. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. He says, woe unto you rich. Why? For you have received your consolation. Console. When a nigga die in your family and somebody come and they give you a hug and everything, what are they doing? They're consoling you. So that hug that niggas in this world got is all the riches that they got, all the money that they got. That's the hug that they got. That comforts them, doesn't it? But when your life has been hard because you ain't had no whole bunch of money, because you had to make ends meet with a little tiny ass bit of money, and you had to do that for a long time, carrying that burden, do you see? Then it looked like you ain't loved by God. It looked like you're going through hardship and you ain't got no consolation. That's why you sorrow with tears, like he said. Sad. That's why. Because you haven't been consoled from the hardships of living, from the labor of life, the heavy laden labor that he described. See? So let's continue. He says, woe unto you that are full, for you shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. You see it, little flock? Them niggas look like they living it up, having a good ass time, that they ain't got a care in the world. But they're going to mourn and weep. You see it? Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you. Look at this. You see that? For so did their fathers to the false prophets. So when you see a nigga with a whole huge ass following of people that all go behind this man talking about how wonderful he is and calling him daddy and calling him father and calling him rabbi and calling him master, and when you see people doing that, they're doing that to a false prophet. Ain't that something? How easy this is to break it down when you just let his words be true. They treat them real nice and good and take care of them like they didn't really serve them good. They take care of a false prophet as if the prophet has taken care of the flock. He hasn't done anything but led you straight to danger. He hasn't done anything but starve you. But yet, you're giving him all your wool. Ain't that interesting? The false prophets. But I say unto you, which hear, okay? You which hear, love your enemies. Stop. Does the world tell you to do that? No, the world tells you eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That's why you have heard it said. If the world wasn't saying it, then you wouldn't have heard it said. But you did hear it said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, see what I mean? But I say unto you, which hear, love your enemies. Do good to them which hate you. You see that? This is what I mean about the doing. So a lot of people say I follow Christ. So a lot of people, they say they love Christ. But how many of them bless them that curse them? And pray for them which despitefully use them? And unto him that smiteth thee on the one cheek, offer also the other. And him that taketh away thy cloak, forbid not to take away thy coat also. Give to every man that asketh of thee, and of him that taketh away thy goods, ask them not again. Oh, see this here little flock? People are too mammon motivated to heed to what he has said, to actually do what he's saying here. Wait a minute. Bless people that curse me, love my enemies, do good to people that hate me. If your heart isn't right, you can't do this. It's that simple. This is what I'm saying, little flock. This is the doing that can only be done once your heart is right. The red, the orange, the yellow, and the green must be subdued in order for the blue, the indigo and the violet to do their thing. Ain't nobody on this earth, for the most part, walking around with no blue, indigo, and violet doing their thing. So in other words, ain't nobody speaking no truth because ain't nobody seeing or hearing no truth because nobody's chakra is open, nobody's eye is open to the Father looking at him and hearing what he's got to say. But this traveling that we're doing is actually preparing you for that very thing. Because at the end of this journey, your eye will be on the Father. Where should it have been all along? You cannot come here to the School of Marvelous Light, actually sit through the messages and listen to them, and not come to the conclusion that where you're going is back to the Father. That is where you're going. And you have not even left your living room or the gym or your job or wherever you're listening to this message. You didn't physically have to go anywhere to return to the Father. You just had to know his name and how you were using it. And you were using it in vain and you just didn't know that. And there's a commandment that says don't do that. So you didn't know you were breaking his commandment. And that's why Yahushua said, forgive them, Father. They don't know they're doing it. But when the branch come, then they're going to know. When I send him, the one Yahushua sent, that's how you're going to know. And that's what's being done today. What's being fulfilled in your hearing today. You see? So now, and as you would, verse 31, that men should do to you, do you also to them likewise. So you see what I mean about the doers? How ain't nobody actually doing what Yahushua say? Because how many men are actually doing to other people what they want done to them? Let's get this right. Men want to be murdered? Well, no, grandson, nobody wants that. So then how come they do it? Because they didn't listen to Yahushua, obviously. Men want to be robbed? Oh, well, obviously, no, grandson. So then how come men keep doing it? Yeah, that's stupid, isn't it? Yeah, it is. When you reap what you sow, it is stupid to sow some dumb shit, isn't it? Yeah. Well, why would you sow some dumb shit? Because I didn't listen to Yahusha. Yeah, that's it. Continuing. For if you love them which love you, what thank have you? For sinners also love those that love them. So see, when you love somebody that love you, you doing the same thing a sinner do. You ain't no better than a sinner. And remember, a sinner means somebody who does not walk in the truth of who they are. Even they still love people that love them, even though they're not walking in the truth of who they are. See? So if they can do that, then you need to do something higher than that. Well, that's loving your enemies. You see? And if you do good to them, which do good to you, what thank have you? For sinners also do even the same. See? They do good to people that do good to them. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's quid pro quo. It's the way of the world, see? And if you lend to them of whom you hope to receive, so in other words, you only lend to somebody if you hope to get something back in return. So if you do that, then what thank have you? For sinners also lend to sinners to receive as much again. See, sinners do that with each other. So then you ain't doing nothing special by lending to somebody hoping to get something in return. You ain't doing nothing good. But love ye your enemies. See that there? And do good and lend. Do good and lend, hoping for nothing again. So when you lend, when you give to a brother, you don't hope for anything in return. Why would you? How is that helping your brother? To give him something, hoping that he can give you something that he ain't have, probably ain't got. That's probably why you giving him something in the first place. But you giving him some hoping he gonna get something back in return from me. Yeah, I hope that nigga give me that. I hope he give me this for what I gave him. Damn. How about my brother needed some help? Here, brother. Shit, don't mention it. And that's the end of the conversation. Whoa, that's really giving, ain't it? Well, according to Yahushua it is. But how many people actually do what Yahushua says do? Not many. Not many. That's why he says, you which hear these words. You notice he said that first before he started saying these words I'm telling you today? This good fruit. Now, could these words come from a corrupted ass, evil heart? Love your enemies, do good to them who persecute you, pray for them who despitefully use you. Can that come from a wicked ass, evil ass heart? Nope. You know good damn well it can't. But what about when he says, woe unto you rich, woe unto you there? Do you think they thought that was good? No, they didn't think that was good to hear that. The rich didn't. Remember the man that walked away sorrowful? He was rich. So when Yahusha spoke to him, do you think what he heard Yahusha say was good to him? No, he thought it was evil to hear that. See, if he thought it was good, he would have did it, but he didn't do it. He just heard it. Why didn't he do it? Because he loved his material things that he had. This is what I'm describing. Come on. Come on. And this is the same man that said he kept God's commandments. This is the same man that said he gave alms. Same man. Interesting. But you can't part with your goods, though, can you? All right. He says, hoping for nothing again, and your reward shall be great. So when you do that, when you hope for nothing again, when you give something, then your reward is great. And you shall be the children of the highest. For he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. So when you do something for somebody and they're unthankful when you did it, look how that shit make you feel. Don't lie to me. Look how it make you feel in your nature. Damn, I just did this. That motherfucker didn't even say thank you. They didn't even acknowledge what I did. What the fuck is wrong? This person ain't got no damn home training or something, nigga. Yo, disrespectful bitch. See how that shit just starts coming out of you? In your insides, secret place? Yeah, it does. I don't care how it sounds. Y'all do. I don't care how it sounds. I care what it is. It's the same poison. You could be saying it like this. Wow, what a rather uncouth gentleman here. I had opened the door for him as he was walking in behind me, and he didn't even say thank you, nor did he acknowledge me, not one little bit. Wow, what a crude fellow. See how it sounds all clean? But it's the same damn energy behind it. Who cares how it sounds? You're judging him now because of what he did. He was unthankful. But what did we just read? That Abba is kind to the unthankful. So do you sound kind right now? No. I know. Be ye therefore merciful, as your Father is merciful. Judge not. There it is. And you shall not be judged. So do you want to be judged? You be like, hell no. That's how you should feel about judging other people. Hell no. You should feel that same damn energy and vehemence about it. Mm-hmm. Condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. See? He motherfucker didn't even do this. He didn't even do that. That's how you want God to act when you don't say thank you when he did something and you didn't notice that he did it for you? You want God saying, damn, this old ungrateful ass bitch, I ain't doing nothing for him then. No, you don't want God doing that to you, so then stop doing it to other people then. Look how the world can just stop being so damn sick if they just consider that. But they ain't considering it, so I guess they'll just stay sick until they die. Continuing, forgive and you shall be forgiven. So what is the criteria for me to be forgiven? I got to do a bunch of works. I got to start to do something to clean my garment up to get forgiven. Is that what I got to do? What I got to do to get forgiven, y'all? Forgive. Anything I want, I got to do. Is that true? So then how come y'all niggas want shit y'all ain't willing to do? That's my question. And don't lie and say you ain't never did it, because you have. You've wanted things from people you yourself was not willing to do. My question is why? You got a beam up in that eye? Is that why? Give, and it shall be given to you. You notice the first word of verse 38? Give, and it shall be given to you. So he says, judge not, condemn not. First of all, he says, be merciful. Then he says, judge not, condemn not, forgive, give, and it shall be given to you. So you hear what I just said? Whatever you give shall be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure you meet withal, it shall be measured to you again. Do you see, little flockulators? And he spake unto them a parable. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch? The disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master, as Yahusha is. You see that? And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye? Why are you looking at a defect in your brother? There's something that your brother did wrong, or he was unthankful, or he didn't show gratitude, or he didn't show respect, or see that's a mote in your brother's eye. But perceive is not the beam that is in thine own eye. There are times when you've been disrespectful. I don't give a damn who you are. There are times when you have sinned. I don't give a damn who you are. There are times when you didn't do what you knew you should have done. So I don't give a damn who you are. I am no respecter of persons. Do you see? Because all have fallen short of the glory of power. All have fallen short of the glory of I am loved, which means we have not always felt loved. And because of that, we sinned. That's damn simple. Now let's continue. So you're looking at your brother, but you beholdest not the beam that is in thine own eye. You hypocrite. Cast out first the beam out of thine own eye, then thou shalt see clear enough to pull the mote that is in thy brother's eye. So cast first the beam out of thine own eye. How can you cast the beam out of your eye if you don't know you have it there and can't see it? In other words, get rid of your own defect first. And then you can acknowledge when you see it in another brother the correct way. If something is difficult to overcome, but yet you've never had to overcome it, and you're telling other people to fucking overcome it, then how in the hell can you have relatable succor when you deal with them? How can you comfort them in it if you don't even know what is required? How can you have patience when you don't know patience is required to deal with that? Yeah. Okay. So then that was verse 42, and then we started back where we left off before, which is for a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit. So do you see, little flock? These are the things that a good tree will say to you. How to handle injustice. When a person tells you how to handle it, that will tell you where their heart is. If a person says, forgive that brother, what kind of heart does he have? It's that simple. What kind of heart does he have if he's giving you that advice? If you lent something to somebody and they didn't return it to you, or they didn't give you anything for it, and you went to somebody and told them that, and they said, oh man, don't worry about it, man, give hoping for nothing in return. Whose words are they saying? Their own? Did they come up with that idea on their own? When you have an ought with another brother and they tell you to be the one to forgive, are they telling you good advice or wicked advice? What kind of tree must they be then? Do you see what I mean, little flock? This is what Abba's doing. He's judging the heart of a man, because this is where everything that you do come forth from, like I've told you. But you only focus on what you do. Why do you focus on that when it will not change if the root of why you do it doesn't change? If the treasure in the heart don't change, then every time you reach in that heart and pull something out, it's going to be the treasure that's in there. It has to change in order for what you do to change. You see what I mean, little flock? That's right. So let's get these hearts changed so we can move on to the next camp, like I told you, which we're about to be doing very soon here, little flock. And where it will be time to know when to speak and when not to speak. Now you got that discernment and your heart is prepared to know when to do it and when not to. You don't feel like you need to justify yourself. That's knowing when not to speak. Because you used to speak then and you got your britches all tore. In other words, you didn't get what your heart desired. You just got more drama. We don't want no more drama. We don't want no damn drama. What good is drama? Ain't none. You see? So y'all be blessed today, little flockulators. And get ready to speak the language of Yahushua in the right way. And keep the word of his patience. Salawam, Israel.